All right.
Details from him.
Hey, good morning. As you guys are all aware, we had an officer-involved shooting this morning. We had an officer shot right down at the railroad tracks on Collins Road between Blanding and Roosevelt. So at this time, we're not going to release his name at this time. We have more family notifications to make. He was life-flighted from Collins and Roosevelt, as you may have seen. We still are digging into the details of the case. We're not exactly sure at this point what has happened, but we've got witnesses at the scene that we're interviewing now. We're talking to those people and obviously forensically looking at the scene and trying to make some determination about what happened. We're not able to talk to the officer. He is in surgery currently in critical condition at UF Health. So,
Sheriff, where was he shot?
At this point, I don't have any of those details right now, and I've heard a lot of different things. So rather than release something that we're not completely sure of, I don't know.
Shot?
Suspect was shot. Suspect fled the scene, was actually chased by a couple of officers. There may be a carjacking involved in that as well, that he carjacked a vehicle to leave the scene. He was apprehended and shot and apprehended at a scene further down Collins Road.
Is that the scene that was on Oak Crossing
Yes,
Drive?
correct. That's it.
Is he deceased?
He is not. He is not.
So the
Right.
suspect is still alive?
Suspect is alive. Yes, correct.
And it was not shot here at this intersection.
No. He was at it was at the Oak
Crossing Drive.
Oak Crossing Drive. So two scenes we're working. Obviously Collins Road, and we'll get more information out briefly this afternoon at some point. But Collins Road may be closed the better part of the day. So we'll have some traffic issues to talk about with everybody here in the next couple hours.
Was the officer shot in his car?
Well, at this point we don't completely know. The front windshield of the car shot up pretty well, and the officer was outside the car when the other units arrived. So again, we're digging into those details, talking to witnesses, and we'll know more later in the day.
Sheriff, we heard that this may have started because of a stolen vehicle. Do you have any information about that?
No, I do not, and I have not heard that. So I don't. I've heard a lot of different scenarios, but that's not one of them.
Was the officer conscious?
The officer was shot here. What location was the officer shot?
The officer was shot right around the corner of the railroad tracks on Collins Road. Yeah. So from that scene, they went to the. There was a foot pursuit, a car pursuit, my understanding, and then another foot pursuit that ended in the suspect being shot and apprehended. Correct.
Sheriff, can you tell us, was the officer conscious and able to give details?
He was conscious when he left the scene, but we have not talked to him in terms of details yet. So.
Do you have a suspect name or age?
We do not.
Was the officer alone when he was shot?
He was not alone, and we're putting that together now. So we'll have more detail about that later in the day.
Was he a uniformed officer?
He was not in uniform. He is not assigned to a uniform assignment. So again, we're looking into that.
Is he a detective?
He is a detective.
So
he is a detective.
He
was not on duty at the time. Not on duty at the time.
He was not on duty at the time.
No.
So I know this is just your worst case scenario.
Right.
When you talk to the family today, what did they have to say?
Well, I've not talked to him yet, so I'm going to go to the hospital as soon as I leave here and speak to the family. So.
Is this connected to any shootings, other shootings that have happened this morning?
No, I don't believe.
Just wondering, carjacking, is that related to officer's car?
No. The carjacking, that there may be a carjacking involved, and that would be when the suspect is attempting to flee. So we're piecing all these details together now. We've got some witness testimony. We've got obviously the testimony of the officers initially arriving at the scene. What we do not have as of yet is anything from the suspect or the officer. So when we get that, we can be able to complete this puzzle. There's a few down there.
So just to clarify, you said the officer arriving on the scene. The officer who was shot was arriving on the scene to a reported carjacking?
No, that's not correct. That is not correct. A carjacking, as the suspect fled the scene, there may be a carjacking involved, a carjacking or an auto theft that he was trying to do to escape.
Okay.
That's where the carjacking and auto theft may have
The
occurred.
witnesses that are there, are they other officers or just people that live in the area?
We have a commuter, we have someone who works in the area, and a couple of other people that I believe either live or work in the area.
What instigated this?
We don't know yet. We don't know.
What was the confrontation about it between them? And then the guy ran and that sort of thing, but something happened to start.
Obviously, yeah, we're not sure at this point. Yeah, correct.
Since the officer was off duty, why was he on scene in the first place? Was there did he live around?
Well, that again, those are the things that we are looking at this point, and we're not sure what the interaction was initially. Calls the officer to take some type of action, which he's legally able to do, and we encourage. So we don't know the details of that yet. As soon as we have that, we'll talk about that.
And do you know if he shot the suspect or if it was somebody else who shot the suspect?
Gunfire. also at with who shot the suspect. No, obviously at the suspect was apprehended. Suspect hit in an exchange with the officer. We don't know. So we're looking at all details.
What about those other officers that were involved in the second scene? I know protocol is that they
Same protocols in place. Absolutely, same protocol in place. Thank you so much.